Life with Nicole and Jack, or Jack and Nicole, however you want to reverse the two. We're here, we're live, and it's just because we got the capability to go live. Thought you might want a little look at what traffic is like in Huntsville, Alabama on a Tuesday night, a little after 6 o'clock. And it doesn't move a lot in this particular part of the city this time of day. This is going from Huntsville across to Madison. If you do your homework, Madison is basically a suburb of Huntsville, and this area is exploding with growth. And unfortunately, the growth has outpaced the growth of the traffic road situation we have here. Nicole and I, we often kid about this is called Temptation Road because there are tons and tons of restaurants along here. Anything you'd like to have is here. So we try and avoid this road, not just because of the temptations of all the restaurants, but the traffic is just absolutely terrible. It's this way probably from about 5 to 7 o'clock. Actually, it starts a little earlier than that, around 4:30 till 7 o'clock. What happens is you have all the people working basically out at Redstone Arsenal and all the companies in and around the Huntsville area. Of course, this is the home of the Marshall Space Flight Center. Don't know how many of you knew that. The space industry is huge here. So 4 or 5 o'clock, there are thousands of people getting off work and making their way back out to their homes in the suburb area of Madison, and then even a little further out towards Athens as well. Other parts of the city, too, have tons of traffic, but this is my particular route today. And even though I'm home-based, some days I have to go into Huntsville. This was one of those days. So again, we're kind of combating the traffic, and it's starting to lessen up just a little bit, but I thought it might be interesting for those of you, if you've never been to this part of the world, to see the traffic situation. The problem is, you know, you've just got this 4-lane highway, all these red lights, and you've got all this retail and restaurants and all this stuff that's built up around here, and they've just fallen behind. And you know, when we lived in Fort Myers, Florida, we went through the same thing along US 41, where again, the growth of retail, restaurants, homes outpaced the road system. And what they came up with, though, was what they call these flyovers. They're basically these ramps you get on that go up and over the highways at various locations. And I'm thinking probably Huntsville needs to look at adding flyovers to this area. Now, the problem is going to be, we all hate road construction because with road construction, we're going to have more and more delays. And let's face it, here we are so delayed right now. I've made it maybe a half a mile in 5 or 8 minutes. I mean, I'm creeping along at about 10, 15 miles an hour. Again, this will start to diminish a bit as we get towards about 7 o'clock. But for the moment, not moving a lot. I apologize too for the picture quality. It's not exactly wonderful because you get a lot of a scattering of the lights there, but you kind of get an idea. Now you're probably looking and going, well, it doesn't look like that much traffic right now. Well, you can't see in the camera up and over the hood of the car how it just kind of starts to bottleneck up there. Now, the left side of the roadway, not as busy because of course the highway is going into Huntsville. So, you know, that's not going to be as busy this time of day. But for those of us trying to go outside, you know, it's pretty jammed up. You know, right now it's starting to pick up a little bit more, and that's the way it works here. You'll pick up little pockets here where the traffic's not really terrible. And I think part of that has to do, there's not quite as much of the more attractive retail stores that people might be, or restaurants and such that people might be wanting to go to if they get off work. But then after we pass this road up here, it's going to really start to bottleneck again. And you'll see what I'm talking about as we're heading out towards, I think it's called Cliff Farms, which is one of these big areas which has all that, what they like to call walkability, if you know what I mean, where they've built houses and condos and townhomes and things like that. And then all around it, you've got all this retail space. And that then starts to develop a bottleneck there. So imagine you're along this highway commuting out of Huntsville in through Madison out towards Athens, and then you have a neighborhood to your right that probably has 500-600 homes, and then you've got supermarkets, you've got restaurants, you've got other retail. So people from the rest of the area also going there. So it just kind of gives you an idea of how that looks. But again, it is pretty darn slow out here. But otherwise, Huntsville, if you're looking for a place to move, it's a great place to be. It really is. Huntsville is now the largest city in the state of Alabama. Now that's by city population. Birmingham Metro is still the largest and Huntsville is second. But if the growth continues here, and there's nothing that seems to say it's not going to continue growing, Huntsville will quickly become the largest city in Alabama. So here, we'll just kind of ride along. If you're incredibly bored, this may be entertaining for you. If not, it's incredibly boring for you. Off to the right, there's a big new Costco they just built. And then up on the left, there's a Target. I'm just kind of naming off everything, how it's just boomed in this area. There's a First Watch restaurant, if you know about that. And then off to the right over there, that's where there is a ton of retail that has popped up. I can kind of turn the camera just a little bit. You'll see what I'm talking about. And then you've got lines of traffic going in there because of all the retail space and restaurants. There you can see, Slim Chickens. There's tons of stuff on the left you're not seeing now. Jim and Nick's Barbecue, Jonathan's, Bad Daddy's Burger. There's Chuck's. That's supposed to be a new fish place opening up back off there. Capriotti's. Something called Maple Street Biscuit Company. I went to one of those actually in Portland, believe it or not. Publix is over there on the right. Five Guys, Chick-fil-A, Chipotle. I often wonder, how many darn restaurants do you need in a town? Does nobody cook at home anymore? I'm heading home. We'll be cooking tonight. That's what we do. So now we've kind of made it through the gauntlet there. Temptation Alley and all the traffic. Things have now settled down, because now we're getting close to what's called County Line Road. And it's amazing. Once you hit County Line Road, the traffic really, really does start to diminish greatly. This is Balch Road here. This is kind of the cutoff where now the retail spaces and such aren't near as crowded and jammed up against one another. You get a little bit more space through here. Notice how the traffic starts to let up. But basically from, say, Trader Joe's at 255 Research Boulevard to that Balch Road, that's your big bottleneck. And here you can see we're picking up a little bit more retail space, but again, it's a little more scattered in nature, so the traffic tends to move a little bit better. And we're getting closer now to, as I mentioned, County Line Road, which when we get to County Line Road, it really opens up then. So again, that's just kind of a look at what things look like here in the Huntsville area. But thinking of coming here, it really is a great area. Road systems, we do have the I-565, which can get you across portions of the city in a pretty good pace. This is Highway 72 though, and this is going to be the one that really, really gets jammed up. Once you get in the city, it's called University Avenue. And again, it's a major thoroughfare here. So that's about all I got to say about that. I think, isn't that a Forrest Gump line? That's all I got to say about that. Yeah. It's funny, this has absolutely nothing to do with anything. We were in a Sunday school group the other day. They were talking about people finding Jesus. And I couldn't help the whole time when I was thinking about Forrest Gump when he'd go, everybody wants to know where Jesus is. I didn't know he was lost. I don't know why, I just find that funny. So there you go. That was our little drive through. Appreciate you guys and girls checking in with us. And notice too, now the sky much darker as you leave the retail corridor there. Kind of heading out in the country. This then is about 8 or 9 miles to the town of Athens, which, believe it or not, we've got a video on our channel. Looks like I got cut off there. I was mentioning this is the highway that goes from Madison, Huntsville to Athens. And Athens, Alabama, last year was the fastest growing city in Alabama. It's only about 30,000 people, but it's growing. And the reason it's growing is because people are trying to get out of that traffic mess and some of the gridlock that you have in the Madison area, and also getting lower home prices out in the Athens area as well. So if you're ever in this part of the world, check out Athens. And again, if I got cut off before I said it, here on our channel, you can look for a video about Athens, Alabama. In fact, if you've never explored our channel, we have a playlist about places to go. I've probably got about 30 different cities on there with extensive tours. If you're one of those folks looking to relocate, you might enjoy that. That along, of course, with the grief videos. Then we got the cooking videos, all that stuff. So now you can see traffic is non-existent. We've made it. We're headed home. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching the channel. Appreciate it. Be sure and share it. Give it a thumbs up. Love hearing from you guys and girls, okay? So we're going to shut it down now. Bye now.